Hello everyone, this is yours truly, JBlue68, and we're still into the month of February, one of the coldest months of the year, and the month also known as Black History Month. I've said that word twice. And I'm mainly highlighting, as I've been doing so far for the last couple weeks now, black superheroes, black characters as they are known in the land or in the world of fantasy and sci-fi. I covered several characters so far. I could actually go on and on and on. I can go beyond a month if I want to, but we're going to keep it in the time limits that we are allowed, which is a month, fortunately or unfortunately. In any case, I have another obscure black superhero. In front of you, you see the character known as the Blue Marvel. Not very well known, not very popular, not even in black culture. And of course, most of us are mainly only familiar with the Black Panther, and then of course some Luke Cage. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to do the Black Panther, because it's been way overdone. So I'm not going to do anything related to the Black Panther at all this month. Aside from showing the Shuri sculpt that I showed earlier this month, and the Luke Cage sculpt, I'm not going to go any in depth beyond that. But again, I'm just highlighting obscure characters that I think should be given more spotlight than they have. And this particular character, especially, the Blue Marvel, I don't have very much history on him, but just excuse me, off of the top of my head, I do know his real name is Adam Brashear, and he's actually Dr. Adam Brashear, just like Doctor Strange. And he's a combination of characters. He has a power of flight, he has super strength, and he can also emit some form of rays or super rays out of from his body. He lives like Namor underwater. He has an underwater fortress, and he's rich like Tony Stark. Those things I know about him. I have some other comics about Dr. Adam Brashear. I couldn't find them, unfortunately, to display them for this particular featurette. But this is a very cool cover. This is from the Mighty Avengers run that took place, I believe, back in 2011 or 2010. And there were those who had mixed feelings about it because they felt that this was an issue that segregated itself away from the rest of the Avengers. I can agree and disagree with that. I'm neither for or against that particular point of view. I think more so what Marvel was trying to do was incorporate and highlight characters of African American descent that they had not shown before or had not been given the spotlight, as I just mentioned, that they should have, and kind of take off from there. But unfortunately, the series didn't last long. Was very short-lived due to some of the controversial views. The stories also were not that great, to be honest with you. But as an African-American male, of course, yes, I'm not going to lie. I love to see characters, that I can identify with that look like me. I mean, who does not? So I didn't really find anything particularly wrong with it. I seen and heard all in both points of view. But I'm still glad that they did these books, and I hope that at some point in time in the future, that this guy will be brought back. Oops, excuse me. This guy will be brought back. He's an older superhero, as you can see the gray in his hair. I don't know what actor at this point could play him, but I'm sure there are plenty of African American actors who could. In fact, if they had not miscast Idris Elba as Himdo, he could have played this character. And no offense, I just don't think that Himdo should have necessarily been a black guy. They should have kept that true to the comic book itself. But in any case, there's potential for a future role and actor to play this particular character. Even the guy who plays in DC's current Black Lightning series could have played this guy, I think. Okay, let's move on here, because I'm really just highlighting just covers that are showing black superheroes. This is one of my favorite covers here, man. It just shows so many things, and this again is from the Mighty Avengers. I don't know why I keep saying Mighty Marvel, Mighty Avengers series. And what it does, it basically it's a throwback cover. You see the year 72. And it goes back to something I've mentioned over and over again, the Black Power movement, which took place in the 60s and 70s. On the cover are retro versions of the Blue Marvel, Luke Cage, as you see right there, and Power Man, and Misty Knight. That's Misty Knight right here. I'm not sure who that is, but it looks like Farrah Fawcett Majors or something, or Farrah Fawcett, excuse me. Looks like Farrah Fawcett, but that's the look of the 70s. You know, you got the big Lincoln right there, a big caddy, you know, and it looks like the Blue Marvel is in blue with a pistol in his hand looking like Shaft. You know, and you have the disco fever, you know, the disco era was very, very big in the 70s, of course. You know, so it's a lot going on here that's just you know, you know, it grabs you. For anyone who's familiar with the age of the 70s and all the things that happened in the 70s, it was definitely an age of renaissance as far as I'm concerned. One of my favorite eras. If I could put myself back in time again, or had a time machine, I would definitely live in the 70s, man. Over and over and over again. I know that sounds crazy, but I would. Okay, let's move on here to another character, not very well known. That's Nighthawk, right there. Nighthawk is kind of a vigilante. He's kind of a mixture between Batman and other also not very popular character in the Marvel Universe known as Moon Knight. There are those who are probably familiar with him. I first got introduced to Nighthawk in the Squadron Supreme series, which came out a couple of years back during the all different era, which comics, I should say, which came out about 3-4 years ago. During that time, Axel Alonso was the editor-in-chief, and of course, he's no longer with Marvel. He's been replaced by some guy named C.B. Cebulski. Yep. So anyway, there's Nighthawk there. And then on the cover there, you can see some very disturbing signs of, looks like some KKK signs. And he's in the middle of battling a bunch of bigots, it looks like, or racists or something. Taking them on as a one-man army. So this was actually a good series. It was very short-lived, very controversial series. I read the entire series. It's a miracle it even got published because of the content, because it also deals with a lot of dirty cops and shady government figures, something that anyone who's ever lived in or around urban city is familiar with. And this is specifically in Chicago. And Chicago has a history and a current situation of being under siege right now by inner city violence and corruption from both politicians and police. But I always get into the left field when I discuss these comics, because a lot of comic books deal with reality. And anyone who reads comic books knows that. And it's one of the reasons why I read them, because they incorporate reality with fantasy and make believe, but have a strong message in them. And last but not least here, it's one of my favorite covers here from the Mighty I did it again. Mighty Avengers series, which has Luke Cage on the cover, the new Power Man, who has a power of Chi, which is the same power that Iron Fist has. There's Monica Rambeau, the original Captain Marvel, and to my understanding, will be possibly making a cameo appearance of some sort in the Captain Marvel movie that comes out March the 8th. There she is. To the side there is a superior Spider-Man who secretly is actually Otto Octavius. And there is the White Tiger. She's half black, half Hispanic or something, similar to Miles Morales. Now, I'll just kind of give you a sneak peek of some of the pages here so you can see them. And it's interesting that this book actually features Thanos and some of the members of the Black Order. And it has the actual copyright year. This was actually published in 2013. Al Ewing was one of the writers for this series, as you can see. There's Axel Alonso, as I mentioned, editor-in-chief. So I got it right. Very good, Mr. J Blue 68. And you can see Proxima Midnight and Ebony Maw. See there? Okay. Moving along here. Some not very well known villain known as the Plunder or something. And again, the stories weren't that great. The artwork, however, was spectacular, as you can see. Very, very good. Al Ewing, I think, was the artist, as I just showed. Wow. Some teeth missing there. Whack, right in the jaw. And as some of you may or may not know, and I mentioned before in a previous video, Luke Cage was once known as Power Man. But this new kid has taken the name Power Man. And he wills the chi of the city, as it says there. And there's the superior Spider-Man, who briefly joined the group, but he had ulterior motives. Okay. Dig that. And the Blue Marvel is in this series, but he's not seen on any of the pages that I'm showing here. I wonder what actress they could get to play as the White Tiger. You know, you can't help but think these things, you know, with the cinematic universe going on, but also Marvel TV. If Netflix could get it together, or either Marvel picks another service to stream their shows on, which I heard a rumor that Hulu is interested or possibly interested in picking up some of their shows. I know they're actually adopting some new shows from the Marvel Universe that will be streaming sometime later, either this year or next year, along with Cloak and Dagger, which premieres April the 4th. And there she is, Monica Rambeau, the original Captain Marvel. Yes, the original Captain Marvel was black. So when I hear people complain, you know, about, well, the original female Captain Marvel was black. So when I hear people complain about, you know, changing characters from black to white, white to black, again, I can see the reason for the arguments, you know, the social justice warriors thing. But in the same token, you know, there's been a lot of things that have been changed on screen that a lot of us aren't even aware of, you know, and how the characters originated. But I always, of course, go by the books. And again, the original Captain Marvel was this woman here, who, once she lost the title of Captain Marvel, became the character known as Spectrum, who has similar powers to Captain Marvel, but they were just kind of downgraded. Okay, that's it. That's all. I hope I didn't offend anyone. I hope that this is informative more than anything, and that you enjoyed this featurette of obscure black characters within the Marvel Universe, within the comic book universe as it is known. That's it. That's all, everyone. I hope you will have a good night, morning, afternoon, and whatever time it is and wherever place you are in the world. Happy Black History Month. Peace, love, and hair grease.